Hey dudes, welcome to Ask Tommy number 6. First question. I am enjoying listening to the podcast. When you're not doing them over the phone, why has it taken so long to do more of them via Zoom or wherever you do them other than the phone? Well, after I moved from Reading to Modesto, the phone bill started to get high. So I'm not just doing them with people in Europe on Zoom or Skype or Facebook or Instagram Messenger call. It's whoever's got the means to do it to doing it, you know. I enjoy doing those more than the phone, and I'm glad that more people are enjoying them when I do them over Messenger or Skype or Zoom or whatever audio. But there's something weird going on with Facebook Messenger. They have this new security thing, and they end up taking away the phone icon, and I'm really concerned about that. Maybe there's a instruction video on YouTube to maneuver that, but we shall see. What are your favorite podcasts you've been a guest on after you've interviewed them? Well, Greg Gilbert on Python's Paradise is always a great conversation. Linda Marcus Smith, I enjoyed during her show, and then I had her on twice, including just the other day. Anna Marguerite Brande Marte, people like that. You know, I said it before and I'll say it again. The podcasts I want to be on don't want me, and the podcasts I don't want to be on seek me out. But I'm happy to do them because I know what it's like to not be able to get anybody on a podcast. And that's no knock against those people by any means. I love them. What are you looking forward to doing for Cinco de Mayo this year? I guess eating a burrito and jerking off twice. Hell, I do that anyway. Are you still trying to get Carney Wilson on Splat from the Past? Yes, and I still have not been able to make the connection. She has a Facebook fan page, and she liked or loved my comments about coming on, but that's about it. You know, I've asked her convention booker to help out, but she's not interested in it. You know, only because I refused to interview Tony Basil back in 2020. That woman made me cry. You know, so if anyone listening has a close friendship with Carney, send her my way, please. 2024, it is. Who's your favorite sex educator you've had on the podcast? Hands down, Miss Angelique Luna. She makes no qualms about who she is. Her and her husband are swingers. She has no filter, and she isn't easily offended. So, no fuss, no muss. It's Miss Angelique. Go check out my interviews with her and go listen to her show on YouTube. She is freaking hilarious and awesome. And she is one of a kind. She is special. How long does it take you to do research for interviews? Well, it all depends. If someone is really prolific, I start doing what I call notes research. Like if it's an actor with over 100 TV and film credits, I write down the list of credits that I love, that I want to talk about, or stuff I'm not familiar with but intrigued by. Then the day before the interview, I devote an entire day of making the research coherent and cohesive. Sometimes I'll have one or two interviews that day, and then I'll do the research. And when the day is over, I am pooped, I tell you. I am pooped. If the person is not prolific, it usually takes me about 2 hours max. What color nail polish do you like on a woman? And do women that you date mind if you have nail polish? I love elaborate colors on a woman. White French tip, but also pink, purple, sparkles, stuff like that. I dated some girls in my 20s that were weirded out about it. They thought that I was secretly gay and in denial, but I've told the story ad nauseum about the woman I went on a date with and we got pedicures. That was awesome. And I haven't dated in over a decade, so I couldn't tell you now. So maybe in the future I'll do an update and I will let everyone know whether or not I'm going on a date with somebody that doesn't mind that I have toenail polish on. I noticed your musician interviews haven't been as frequent since the new year began. Is that by design? No, not at all. Ugh, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Musicians are more difficult to get on a podcast than any actors or anyone else. There's major scheduling issues because they're always on tour and there's a lot of red tape to go through. But the good news is I do have some great musicians coming on soon in the future that I'm really looking forward to. I've got, Carol Lynn Towns coming on. She did the songs for Break In and Break Into Electric Boogaloo. She's been around for a long time. I am really looking forward to that interview. That's one of those interviews like I didn't have confidence for a long time, but now I do, mainly because I had to interview so many people to get confident to interview big names. So yes, I will have musicians on pretty soon this summer 2024. Now that this is an election year, are you going to have any political people on or have political discussions? Nope. Politics are not my thing. I don't mind getting political with certain guests if the mood is right, but 110% I loathe politics and anything associated with it. In this crazy and sensitive time, I don't need that stink on my hands. So that is a big, big no. And I hope to God that, our country will have some common sense to vote for the right people. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Has there ever been a recording mishap that happened during an interview? Well, early on, I forgot to put my phone on airplane mode before the interview. So someone called during them. I had to say to the guest, hold on 1 second. I didn't take the call, and then I put the phone on airplane mode and started recording again. And they had no idea what just happened. That, whatever that 3 to 10 seconds just slipped by and didn't end up in the interview. No one really noticed it, And some of them stand out. Like, I remember the first interview I did with Deborah Lamb, my first with Terry Bolo, Anita Wise's first, and Linda Cash. They all their first interviews had those things, and I had to divide all those interviews into 2 or 3 parts because I remember a couple of those times I forgot to put the phone on airplane mode, so I really screwed the pooch on that one, and now I always make sure that I don't forget to do airplane mode. It is always on airplane mode when I start recording. Always. No exceptions. Have you ever done an interview with somebody and fell in love with them? Oh yes, many, many. Sadly, they're all either married, in relationships, or live miles away. But you have to know me for a while to divulge that information. But yes, it's been both men and women and stuff. Actually, just one man that I can think of off the top of my head. But I'm still not going to reveal the name of who it was. But yes, I told everybody not too long ago about the guest I had whose book I read and I fell in love with her. It's kind of died down, because for one reason, one of the reasons I'll admit to is that I looked at our astrological signs and realized we'll never be compatible. It's not just that she has a life partner that she's been with for a while now, but I don't think our signs would be too compatible, But it was the great Katie Barberi, Tangerine and the Garbage Pail Kids movie, who said something to me recently when I made the status on Facebook about being in love with this person. She said, what did she say? Life is full of surprises. You never know what's in store for you. I'm just paraphrasing what she said. And she is right. Life is full of surprises. God works in mysterious ways. You never know what's in store for you. So we shall see what happens in the future with me on the relation front. I just couldn't believe it. I mean, I was in hysterics, guys. I mean, after, I read that book, I cried for about 2 weeks every day. I was just like, I'm never going to find anybody. I'm never going to, I'm just never going to have anybody. I'm 40, going to be 41. I got diabetes. I got a podcast that only the people who have been on and the few people I went to school with appreciate. Like, I'm not evolving, but then I realized I don't think people do evolve at all. I think we just learn to finesse our flaws is what we do. I mean, I know so many people who pretty much are the same as they were many years ago, but there's something about them that is different, not changed but different you know but yes, I went on a long tangent there. Yes, I have fallen in love with people that I've interviewed. Do you ever get backlash from your sex positivity episodes? No, not really. My biggest fear is when a potential guest says, "Let me go listen to some of your episodes." I am always in fear they are going to find one of those sex positive episodes, because this is a mainstream actor, musician, podcast, and like I'm always afraid that a mainstream actor or musician is going to fucking find one of those and get offended, you know. And ironically, I've had a lot of men that have been on the show DM me like privately and telling me that they enjoy the sex episodes, which is expected because we're guys, but like two guys in particular I would never have expected it from, and I'm not going to reveal their names and stuff, but I'm so glad that they are big fans of those. Luckily, I haven't been hit on by them. They're both straight, but I was just like, wow, I would have never have guessed it for these two particular individual fellas. Is there any chance of doing an in-person interview in the future? I'm working on it. That's all I can fucking say. I am working on it. I would love to go to a location, whether it's my garage, go Marin style, or go to a park, or just somewhere quiet where we can talk for an hour about pop culture or whatever. I don't think that's going to happen with the celebrities, but it is going to happen probably with like ordinary folk who I find, common interests with, who have the same interests as I do and stuff. So we shall see. We shall see. I'm working on it. Any good anecdotes you can share about your VHS collection? Oh, I am so glad you asked. Well, I am very proud of my Thorn MI video collection. I have all the early prints of the following movies: One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, George Romero's Martin and Dawn of the Dead, Ralph Bakshi's The Lord of the Rings cartoon movie from 1978, The Prey, The Dreamscape, The Philadelphia Experiment, The Terminator, Heaven Help Us, Amadeus, Rambo, First Blood Part 2, Secret Admirer, The Heavenly Kid, Head Office, The Return of the Living Dead, Howling 2, The Who, The Kids Are All Right. I have a video store in my bedroom. There's many I haven't been able to find a good price on eBay for, like The Burning, Madman, Below the Belt, Squeeze Play, the Tubes video album, etc. I also have 7 Warner Brothers clamshell case movies. I'd love to have more, but those are very pricey. I mean, very pricey. I'm lucky to get the ones I do have. I've got Arthur, What's Up Doc, Caddyshack, Rock and Roll High School, The Shining, Oh God, Book 2, Up the Academy. I've got a ton of CBS Fox home video movies for 20th Century Fox and United Artists. The Sound of Music, MASH, Tora, The Day the Earth Stood Still, Rocky, Star Wars, Annie Hall. I have that not only on CBS Fox Video, I got it on Key Video and MGM UA Video. That's how much I love that movie. Young Frankenstein, Batman 1966 on Playhouse Video. Many James Bond movies like Dr. No, Goldfinger, Live and Let Die, The Spy Who Loved Me, A View to a Kill, The Living Daylights, etc. I repeat, I have a video store in my fucking bedroom. That's how much I love home video. What obscure movie do you really want to dive deep into for an anniversary this year? Well, there's a family horse movie called Rare Breed. It was kind of a Black Stallion ripoff from 1984. Tracy Vaccaro was the star of it. I've been trying to get her on here since the year began, and we're Facebook friends now, but she hasn't gotten back to me. She has only read my DM. I hope we can make it happen. It's a beautiful, underrated movie from New World Pictures, again from 1984. It's got a nice little family message story about, being loyal and kind to horses, and it's a really sweet movie. And Tracy Vaccaro, was great in it, I'm just guessing. I don't know why, but I think that because Tracy Vaccaro was probably in Playboy and because she was married to Fred Dreyer, maybe she's reluctant to come on here. I don't know. Again, I'm just projecting here, and I shall see. But hopefully, I will get her on here. George Kennedy and Forrest Tucker are no longer with us, so it's got to be her. And I think the director and the writer's dead, unfortunately. So hopefully I'll get Tracy Vaccaro on here sometime this year. What's your favorite Rodney Dangerfield joke? Oh, love this. Well, for his Tonight Show act, I told my son, I said, someday you'll have children of your own. He said, so will you. Brilliant line. I think that's the most brilliant and well-written Rodney line that he ever did. I mean, hands down, there's no contest. And for his movies, there's many I love from his movies, but the one that still makes me howl is when in Easy Money, he's having trouble taking the fat Italian boy's picture, and his grandmother says, "Hey, Monty, have you ever seen a face like his before?" And Rodney says, No. If I did, I'd remember it." Fucking Rodney. Fucking love that. It is classic. Well, that's it. Later, dudes.